Hello, everybody. So last year,
I've
I had
no
no
money and
money,
no
no
prospects.
prospects, and
I'm
I was a
already a burden
disappointment
to
to
my
my family.
parents.
And I watched like 3 movies a day for about 2 months, I think. And in that time, I came across the most incredible movie I have ever seen. You probably never heard of The Fall. Well, I mean, the good Fall, not that shit BuzzFeed movie. Yeah, no, it was bad. It was bad. Don't watch that Fall. Watch the one by Tarsem Singh. It's not massively talked about, but it is popular on Letterboxd, and that's where I get all my information from. So it's a good movie. I was there late at night. I was on a mission to watch every single movie that Lee Pace has ever been in, and that was going well. I had my priorities straight. I'm in love with him. I just, I had to. And I came across this and I wasn't expecting anything, it was kind of a vague title, vague poster. It didn't look the best ever I mean, the poster was horrible. It was not a good poster. I remember clicking on it and there was zero hype and I've never heard it before and it kind of upsets me now because it was a really good movie. Fast forward 2 hours and I'm like full on crying. I'm just sobbing and I'm fucking staring at the wall and wanting to watch it over and over again, but knowing I probably shouldn't because it would destroy my mental health. And I kind of wish I had the brain cells to make that. It was the best ever. Incredible. The Fall is like this is very quiet at the start, it like sort of starts all gentle and whimsical. You're following this girl around the hospital. She's running around and she's having a good time and you don't know where it's going. And then it kind of like sneaks up on you in the middle of nowhere and it kind of totally wrecks the place and it's incredible. It's a complete masterpiece, I think. It's a hidden gem that deserves to be dragged out of the shadows and talked about like we talk about Pan's Labyrinth or Howl's Moving Castle. It's just that good. So go ahead and watch it. I'll wait. Okay, I assume you've watched it now. The Fall sounds pretty straightforward. It's 1920s, we're in Los Angeles, and we're following this stuntman that's played by Lee Pace called Roy. And he's stuck in a hospital after a bad accident. And enter Alexandria, this very young girl with a broken arm, who basically becomes the audience for the next couple of hours. To kill time and probably to distract himself from wanting to die, Roy conjures up these stories, this like wild epic fantasy about five heroes who go on a revenge quest. As Roy's own emotional baggage starts leaking out, the story kind of gets darker and twistier, and the line between fantasy and reality becomes like completely blurred, and soon you can't really tell what is make believe and what's his real shit. And what starts as a simple kid's story becomes this kind of like haunting thing. It's about imagination, sure, but it's also about loss and grief and how these stories are weird tools we use to try and make sense of the nonsense that life throws at us. Plus, it massively up the stakes when your audience is a little girl who believes everything you say. It's kind of like if Neverending Story and Requiem for a Dream had a love child. The Fall isn't just like beautiful by accident. Director Tarsem Singh, who before this was mostly known for music videos and this weird movie called The Cell that I haven't actually seen, spent 4 years making this thing. He filmed in over 20 countries, so it's not just like some Hollywood studio thing. And he was in places like the Taj Mahal and the Nambian Desert and ancient Cambodian temples and like a million other places. And there's zero CGI as well. There's no green screen, so none of that shit. Every jaw-dropping moment, every landscape, every visual, every single scene basically is the real world, and it looks way better somehow. And he paid for it himself too. He mortgaged his house to fund this fucking thing, and maybe it's just me getting way too obsessed with it, but you can kind of tell. Like it's so good. It's great. At the heart of this movie, I think, isn't the scenery though. I think it's the weird, fragile relationship between Roy and Alexandria. Katinka Untaru, the 6-year-old girl that plays Alexandria, had never acted before, ever. And I mean, you can kind of tell sometimes, but it's cute. It's fine. Tarsem Singh actually wanted that. He wanted a complete newbie, and he let a lot of her performance just sort of happen naturally. It was mostly unscripted. Some scenes with Lee Pace were like totally improvised and filmed secretly through like the gaps that they cut in the curtains of the hospital bed that they were in for most of the time. Katinka also thought that Lee Pace was actually hurt, I think. Like he was in a wheelchair 24/7 on that set. So I mean, he was paralyzed. I think I'd go as far to say that she thought that maybe the stories were somewhat true as well. You can like see that she's invested in it in most of the movie, and it's fantastic. My favorite thing about the movie is that it like feels like a movie. So the movie as a whole sort of feels like eavesdropping on something that actually happened. So The Fall is this breathtaking emotional masterpiece, and I don't want to gatekeep it anymore like I do everything else because I want more of the world to see it because it is incredible and it feels like something no one has ever seen. Everyone I talk to doesn't know what it is, and that really annoys me. I think the lack of popularity comes down to mostly bad timing and worse luck. There was no like big studio backing, and there's no flashy trailers, and it was 2006, so social media wasn't really a thing. It just kind of happened, and it makes me wonder how many incredible movies I missed because of that. Plus, in the 2000s, movies were kind of split into two camps. You either had giant blockbusters or these like weird indie flick things. The Fall didn't really fit anywhere. It was way too stunning, and it was way too emotional, and it was really visually weird for that time. It was a strange sort of heartfelt film made by a guy who literally mortgaged his house to make it. Very simply put, The Fall is about grief, and I know that sounds really heavy, and it is, but it's also about how we try to wrap that pain into something really fucking cool so it can survive without completely falling apart. Roy, the stuntman, tells Alexandria these epic tales of heroes and villains, and his own despair is sort of like mixed into that, and the story breaks along with him at the end. Alexandria is not just some like passive audience, she's not just sitting there. Her innocence kind of fights back against his cynicism, and what starts as this dude trying to use a story to escape his pain and kill himself, kind of, turns into this little girl using that very same story to try and save him, which I think is cute. I think the movie is rare in that it respects your emotional intelligence as a viewer as well. It doesn't feel like the need to slap you in the face with these neon signs that say, hey, this is really important in the movie. It just sort of trusts you to connect the dots between the fantasy and the reality. If you didn't watch it the first time I told you to watch it, then fuck you, I guess. Also go watch it, like right now, and then come back and tell me what you think about it. Unless you didn't like it, then I don't want to know. I think it's the best movie ever. And I watch it like once a month because I think if I watched it any more than that, then I'd like have permanent emotional distress. Thank you for watching. Okay, bye!